John is a man of focus, commitment, sheer will. Something you know very little about.
Here are 7 tips to focus like the master of focus, Baba Yaga. They all work, but stay till the end because the last one is the biggest reason why you actually can't focus. And the worst part is, I've never seen people talking about this online. So let's get to it. Tip 1. Preload your focus. Watch any John Wick movie and pay attention to what happens before the action starts. There's always this moment when he checks the weapon, he counts the rounds, he adjusts the grip. It is not rushed. It's almost slow, deliberate and quiet. It's not just preparing the gun, it's preparing the mind as well. And when you actually watch him fighting, he never has to think about his equipment. He doesn't hesitate because something's wrong with his setup. The preparation before the fight kills every potential distraction during the fight. Most people treat focus like a light switch. They just sit down, open their laptop and they expect their brain to enter a flow state instantly. But this is not how it works. Focus does not start when you sit down. It starts way before. So here's what you do. Before every deep work session, you prepare your equipment. If you're going to write for 3 hours, you need to make sure that your laptop is charged. Make sure you have a bottle of water next to you.
A bottle of water?
Make sure your phone is out of the room so it won't distract you. This does 2 things. First, it prevents the practical interruptions. The, oh, I need to find my charger moments that kill your flow state. But second, and this is what most people miss, it puts you into a different mental state. You are building an association. Every time you prepare your equipment, your brain knows it's time to focus. Which brings me to the next point. By the way, if you are new here on the channel, I'm Danny Nova, I study psychobiology and I coach people on how to enter a flow state like this. When John checks the weapon and the equipment, he knows he's entering the killing mode. Pure focus. You need a focus ritual. I'm not gonna tell you to meditate. Maybe that works for you. What I'm talking about is something much simpler. A consistent signal to your nervous system that it is time to focus. The same song you listen to before you start working. Doing 10 push-ups. The same cup of coffee. The same cup of tea. It really doesn't matter what it is. What matters is building the association. Every time you do this, you know it's focus time. Watch carefully how John Wick fights. Even when he's surrounded by 8 people, he doesn't try to fight all 8 at once. He isolates his enemies. He neutralizes completely one guy, and then he goes to the next guy and he neutralizes him completely. And then he goes on. He never splits his attention. He never half deals with someone and then moves on. There's actual research on this. Every time you switch tasks, it takes your brain up to 23 minutes of time to go back to the same level of focus you had before you switched tasks. 23 minutes. When you want to quickly check your emails while working, you're not saving 5 minutes. You're wasting 23 minutes of focus because that's the time it takes to go back to the same level of focus. So here's how you actually fix this. At the start of your session, you just write one goal on a piece of paper. Literally, on a piece of paper, you write it down and you try to be very specific. Not a list. One thing, one goal. Use numbers. Make it specific. Make it real. Just ask yourself this. Why is Baba Yaga so good at focus? Because he just has one task. When he enters a building, he knows what he has to do. He has to kill everyone. He doesn't have multiple goals in his mind. He's not going there to make friends. You can watch the movies and you just know he's gonna kill everyone. It's easy to focus when you have a clear goal in mind. Now, your goal shouldn't be to kill people, obviously, but write down your goals before you start working. And working becomes easy. When you stop multitasking, focus becomes a byproduct. John Wick does not wound someone and then walks away to see how he feels. The target is either eliminated or it isn't. There is no half done. Wick does not pick neutral ground. He uses the environment. Every wall, every piece of furniture, every person in the room, it turns it into an advantage. Your physical space is doing the same thing to you, but it might be working against you. You cannot out-willpower an environment that is designed for distraction. If your phone is on your desk, you will look at it. If social media is one click away, you will click. It's not a discipline problem, it's an engineering problem. So why not engineering your environment in a way that benefits you? Why not using every feature of your environment to your advantage? So here's 3 ways to engineer your environment. First one, create a space that means only work. Not your bed, not your couch, a specific chair, a specific corner. One configuration that exists only for deep work. Second, weaponize friction. Log out of social media on your browser. Put the phone in another room, not face down on the desk. Make distractions annoying to access. Make focus the path of least resistance, so it becomes obvious. Third, design your sound environment. For some people, total silence works the best. But for some other people, with total silence, every random noise becomes a distraction. In this case, just use white noise as an audio barrier. By the way, if you are finding value in this video, just consider subscribing to the channel because it helps a ton. And if you want me to personally help you to achieve this level of focus, schedule a free call with the first link down below. Thank you. Wick never hesitates mid-fight. Not because he's fearless, but because the decisions were already made in training. When a new enemy comes out, there is no decision. The response is preloaded. His brain is not spending energy deciding anything. It's just executing intuitively. Decision fatigue is real. Every tiny choice you make during a work session, should I do this first? Is this paragraph good enough? Should I check this? Each one costs cognitive fuel. You are tired not because the work was hard, but because you made 100 micro decisions that stole you mental energies. Here's how to fix this. Before you sit down, you write the exact sequence of actions you will need to do to achieve specific goals. You write your goal for the session, but then you think about which sequence of actions you will need to do in order for you to get to this goal. Because once you know the sequence, your brain executes automatically. Also, pre-decide what to do when you get stuck or interrupted in your work. Every time you hit a wall, you know what to do to move on. When you have protocols set in advance, interruptions don't cost you anything. You are not making decisions in the moment, you're just running a protocol, you're just executing. Once John is moving, he almost can be stopped. Not because he's invincible, but because he doesn't stop mid-fight to evaluate his technique. He doesn't take a break to see if the plan is working. He just keeps going. And that forward motion itself becomes something enemies can't predict and deal with. Momentum is the most underrated force in focused work. When you're trying to focus, starting the first minutes are the hardest. But continuing to focus is a lot easier. That's why momentum is so important. And the thing is, people burn their momentum every single time while they're working. They stop to check the quality, they stop to research something, they stop to see how it's going. But the research phase and the execution phase are separate. Every time you stop to check how you're doing, or every time even you admire what you've done up until now, you are losing focus. Review later, admire your work later. There are people who distract themselves by admiring their own work while they're working. And this might be you. I did this too. But you have to stop. Admire your work later. And when you're working, focus on the work. Once the enemy is killed, it's killed. Don't think about it. You will think about it later. And finally, the last tip. And as I told you, you can apply all of the other tips, but they won't matter if you don't realize this. The reason why John Wick is able to focus so good is because he has super high consequences. Let me explain. If John Wick loses focus, even for a second, he dies. That's the point of the movie. His consequences for not focusing, for being distracted, are huge. Consequences completely eliminate every other thought that is not the goal in front of you. Most of us don't have that. Our consequences are invisible. For example, you scroll for 1 hour and nothing bad happens immediately. The cost only shows up months later in terms of goals you did not achieve. So if you wanna focus, remind yourself of what will happen to you if you don't focus on your dreams, on what you like, on what you have to do. You don't need perfect conditions to focus. John Wick never has perfect conditions to focus. He just has clear protocols, which were the first 6 tips, and then he has very high consequences, very high stakes. He knows if he doesn't focus, he dies. So just build the protocols and build high stakes. You just need 2 weeks of this and you won't even recognize the way you work. Thank you for staying till the end, guys. And if you want more from me, you can check out my X or my newsletter. Both the links are down below. And if you want me to personally help you to achieve all of these, just schedule a free call with the first link down below. And I'll tell you more details on these. Thank you for watching, guys. And as usual, I'll see you in the next one.